Hi, welcome to Highly Social. I'm your host, Mike Eaton. Today, we're joined by the man who is being the Sass Master General last episode. He's going to be joining us behind the scenes, giving us shit. But it's the wonderful Darian Irwin.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Darian.
Yeah.
What is going on?
There's a war in the Ukraine. Not important. More importantly, we're here.
Yeah, now
doing the podcast.
Yeah, now you're
doing the
getting it.
podcast.
So last time you hated the podcast so much that you looked up ideas for how to make it a better podcast.
No, I didn't. No,
Yeah,
that's
you were
not.
giving us numbers and made us try and be better.
Okay. I don't remember, but it wasn't because I thought it wasn't because I thought the podcast was bad.
Oh, what was it for then?
I don't remember how that came about, but it wasn't.
You just searched it of your own volition.
I thought it would be a funny thing to do. It ended up working out.
Yeah,
it
was very funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. Yeah, it was good.
I really enjoyed the point of view ones. Those were my favorites.
What does that mean?
We were the point of view of like a person in Bug's life.
Yeah, that's good.
Ants.
Yeah.
That's great.
Dylan's the best.
We've had a lot of fun times together.
Mm-hmm. Over the years.
We met last year when you moved here, and we did a show together at Bianca's show at Native Hostel.
Is that where we met?
I think so.
I think you're right. I haven't even thought about that.
I'm pretty sure that we met because you walked in, and I was like, oh, thank God. I'm not going to be the biggest person in this tiny room of this fucking Coachella.
Yeah. Well, the thing that sucks about Native Hostel, too, is everyone's, like, super good looking.
So fucking hot. It's so annoying.
It's the only place I'm more uncomfortable than inside of Whole Foods. You know what I mean? Is in Native Hostel.
Oh, I feel at home in a Whole Foods.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm the kind of fat they like there. This isn't McDonald's fat. Like, this is
butter
fat.
Yeah.
So they see me and they're like, I wonder what he's getting here.
That's what I used to say to Trey. The difference between me and him is he got fat at McDonald's and I got fat at the steakhouse.
Yeah. It makes a difference.
It does make a huge difference.
It's a huge body composition difference in the kind of fat.
Well, I also just think it's a huge energy difference in the type of person that you are.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean, and don't get me wrong, you can't get here without throwing some fast food at it. But, like, I would never choose that.
You'd never choose fast food?
Yeah, if I have an option of where I'm going to eat, I would never choose fast food.
Depends on the fast food. Okay. I was talking to Nick from Vulcan, and he's never eaten P. Terry's. And then he said it to me like I was crazy for him never having P. Terry's. And I was like, it's like, or he said, I guess he had never had In-N-Out either or whatever. And he's like, I don't eat fast food like that, man, because, you know, he grew up with money and shit like that. And it's just like, but I don't think of it like it makes sense that you've never been to an Applebee's, but like everyone eats In-N-Out.
So
dude, if you go to an In-N-Out in LA, mostly the people there are like upper middle class.
No.
You don't think so?
No. Which one? Because
that's a good point. All right, that's a good point. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, it gets a little dicey.
Buddy.
Yeah. All right, that's fine.
You go to the In-N-Out out by where I lived in Azusa.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What is Azusa?
It's right, dude. So I swear to God, I have like the luckiest fucking life in the world. So when I moved to LA, my buddy, shout out Cole
You don't
Strange.
fucking say.
I love Cole so much. But Cole, I met, he's a loan officer, and he had a home in Azusa, which is close to where he grew up in Glendale, which is where Tony Robbins is from.
Glendale.
But it's like no, I'm sorry, not Glendale, Glendora. Glendale is where all the
I remember the
Armenians
Glendale
are.
Galleria.
That's where the Armenians are. Glendora is the rich white suburb with all these houses and mansions in the hills. And it's fucking beautiful. So I moved into this house. I had great rent. I had awesome roommates. But there was an In-N-Out close by, and it was just college kids from Azusa Pacific University. And then Azusa, a long time ago, had like a bunch of, and kind of that area, had a bunch of Mexican gangs. And they ran all of the black people out.
Cool.
And they got rid of all of the black people in that area. Okay.
Whoa.
But they ran all the black people out in that area. So there's this weird culture clash of like rich white people and Mexican gang members and then just a bunch of working class people. So like when I first moved there, I'm like, oh, this is the small town I live in. I'm 45 minutes from downtown in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
I should find a bar that I can go hang out at.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a place that serves liquor, and there's a little bar that's like a mile from my house.
Yeah.
and it's by the Target. So I'm like, oh, this will be perfect. You know, so I walk over there and I walk in, and it's just like, I don't want to say banditos, but they were Mexican guys with scarves on their heads and leather jackets, and they all looked at me like I just walked into the worst place I could be.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I was gonna grab a drink. No. Like, okay. Just left. And then I told Cole about it. He's like, yeah, that's like where they sell their Coke. Don't go in there, you'll die.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
I lived in Sunland, Tahunga. You know where that is? Like Foothills Boulevard.
Oh yeah.
Fucking La Cañada, like west of La Cañada.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember
Canada.
La Canada. I remember one time I was in the back of an Uber, and somebody had asked, he was just trying to make small talk with me or whatever, and he asked me like, I had mentioned that I had lived in LA when I was younger, and he said, where in LA? And I said Sunland, Tahunga, and he goes, nice, yeah, I like Sunland, man, nice town, nice white town.
Jesus.
And I thought this changed
everything
very quickly. With that one word.
Yeah.
It was interesting. And I had not even known that it was a nice white town at the time. I was unaware that it was Redneckville there.
Yeah.
But I guess so. I actually haven't even confirmed that since then. He may have just been, it may be all Mexicans there. He may have just said that.
He may have just been a racist guy.
That would
be cool.
That is actually, that would be funny if it's like it is a Mexican ghetto, but that's just how he described it. Just to fuck with people.
Frogtown. Nice white area.
Nice white area. What?
Dude, I really genuinely love Mexican culture so much more than the amalgamation of white cultures. Like suburb white, it has like a specific culture to it where you hang out at the mall and you go see movies. Yeah. But like when I got to LA and like was introduced to actual like Mexican culture, going to a bar where I'm the only white guy and drinking micheladas where they put big fucking shrimps in them.
Yeah.
And it gets to the end of the night, and people start going, hey!
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you guys fucking rule.
Yeah.
And they're all fucking so nice. And none of them are ever like, get out of here, you're invading my culture, stop, like, don't dance. Or like,
no,
like,
very inviting. Very inviting.
Do you want to learn
absolutely.
how to dance?
Absolutely.
Like, do you want to try this?
My dad has actually he's talked about this at length before, like the similarities, because I'm half Irish, half Mexican, and there's like, it's really similar to Irish culture of like drinking and partying and camaraderie and family and dancing and you know, all that sort of stuff. It's all like, it's almost like exactly the same. And yeah, you're right. Very, very inviting.
Welcoming, yeah.
Yeah. As it should be.
The Irish culture is very, I didn't even think about that.
It's like very similar.
Nice.
Yeah.
We went for a month because we found out, this is a fucking bougie sentence, we found out we had a family castle because one of my ancestors down the line in my dad's family was like the king of Ireland at one point. So we have a family castle. So my dad, and this is when like his rich phase, so it's like, I know, this is a sentence that shouldn't exist.
You have a family castle.
Yeah.
Like medieval, like cat, like.
I've got pictures of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So we go over to see it, but we spent the first 2 weeks in Dublin.
I didn't know it was with the fucking king over here.
So we go to Dublin, and
goddamn prince is on probation, dude.
I think I'm 16 at the time. And I have a like really nice wool Ralph Lauren sweater.
Ralph
Lauren.
No, a nice Ralph Lauren sweater is called Ralph Lauren. So if you want to describe it correctly.
But it's also like just the dumbest thing you could wear. It has a huge American flag. That is
really?
It's a like beige sweater with a huge American flag. And after my dad and stepmom and sister have gone to bed, I was like, hey, can I just wander around and check out the city by myself, knowing I can drink here? So I go out and I go into a bar, pub, whatever.
Right.
And I don't know anything about booze except for movie stuff. And I was like, I'll have a pint of Guinness.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, of course you will, lad. And fucking pours it up. And I drink it like, oh, it's fucking so gross. But I don't want them to know that. So I'm just like, slow sips, it's good, you know. And people are singing and having fun.
Yeah.
And then at one point, this guy, the thing I noticed that the stereotype of like the super drunk Irishman, their nose and their chin almost touch.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's just like the facial feature there. So there's a lot of them where they're like really old and they're like just this much clearance.
Right.
And that's like a max level.
My favorite is the videos of like super Irish or super Scottish people speaking English, and it does not sound like English at all.
That's this guy.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
He's hammered.
Yeah.
And he's like, and like I'd pick out a word and be like, no, that's good. Like,
cool.
And I'm trying to keep to myself and just observe. And I guess he picked up on that and saw the flag. So he starts yelling, and it's getting aggressive, but none of it is getting clear.
Yeah.
And then another guy goes, fuck off. And so then they're yelling at each other.
Oh, no.
And then that guy goes to pick up his stool, and the dude just breaks a glass on his head. So fight breaks out, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is so cool. And I go, like, to get out of the way, because also, they're men.
Right.
I'm 16, and even though I'm like, I was way too arrogant because of the football
Yeah,
fan.
also, they live there. They don't even have castles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so, you know, like, there's a lot of mixed things going on, but I'm like, oh man, I should, like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And from fucking nowhere, someone over here just smashes a chair into my fucking knee. And I just eat shit on the ground. And I'm like, fucking, nope. I just sprint out and I leave. And I get up to the
castle.
Like the really nice hotel we're staying at in Dublin. And I walk in.
No, I believe it's called a castle.
And I'm out of breath and I stink like a fucking bar.
Yeah.
And my dad, who's like a recovering alcoholic and definitely knows what booze smells like.
Right.
Where have you been? I go, I slipped in the rain.
Yeah. Right.
Let it go.
Yeah. Really?
He was just like, cool.
Oh, you're in Ireland. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, we found the castle. It was cool.
Yeah. Was it cool?
Yeah.
Was it big?
No.
Do you get to go inside?
Sort of. So we had to break into a gate. And then we went through it. And so it was like probably about as tall as like a 3-story building. And it had an entrance that was kind of fucked up. Like there was no gate left to it. So it was about as long as this building that we're in right now. So probably 150 feet long.
Interesting.
50
So your family
feet tall.
lords or
He was king. He was king of this part of Ireland when it was multiple like provinces.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been like a long time ago.
A
then.
real long time ago.
Yeah.
So my family, we came over on the Mayflower. If you go to like Plymouth Rock and you go to any of the gift shops around there, the kids' books are the story of Patrick Eaton.
No
who's
shit.
One of my ancestors.
No shit.
So we had family in like the Revolutionary War. Like we've been around history. So my family's kept like very arduous history. So like when my grandma passed away, we went through all of the family history stuff, and my dad paid to have like a big genealogy thing done.
Really?
So we can trace our shit back like 1,000 years.
Really?
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's so funny you bring that up. We're doing that right now. So my mother-in-law is like super into the ancestry stuff, so she's going through my family's history right now.
Oh, sick.
And like the white side, she can get back pretty far, and then the Hispanic side is like it's been like a complete nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty uninteresting. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot. The most interesting thing we have is somebody on my mom's side of the family had sex with a black person at some point. But
nice.
That's literally the most interesting thing that we have.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah.
That's progressive.
Yeah.
It's a while ago.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah. You don't have any castles?
No castles to speak of.
Loose,
not on the
dude.
Yeah.
Get a castle.
No, we used to
bro.
have pyramids on the Hispanic side, actually. So fuck you.
Yeah, from Tenochtitlan.
Yeah. No.
Chichen Itza.
Yeah.
Pizza.
I want to go there. I really want to go there. My family went a few years ago, and then I didn't get to go. Really fucking whatever.
Yeah, I would like to. So my thing that I see, like Machu Picchu and a lot of these fun places, I'd love to go, but I also know like I'm gonna be so out of breath.
Yeah.
It's fucking like a mile elevation.
I don't really want to go. I think I want to go until we're there walking, and then I don't want to. It's like I see it, you know.
Wow.
That's it. Whoa, let's go back.
I want someone. I wish. So you ever watch like the old like 50s athletic videos where they have like the machines that like do the workout for you?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I want that. I want the workout to be done for me.
Yeah. That's not how it works.
I want that.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard what I said. My bad, dude. I get what you're saying now.
No, but I want.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to
that
work
would be
out.
sick. Not even having to work out would be super dope.
I like though lifting weights when I can lift a lot of weights. But I have distinct like physical memories of lifting big heavy dumbbells, and now I go to lift the ones that I go to pick them up. And I'm like, oh boy,
Right?
like,
yeah.
And then I go to run. And it's like everything's burning.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. It only brings back bad memories of when I was better. Yeah, so I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Listen, little chest pain. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
You posted something on Instagram where it's like when you feel chest pain, you're like, today's the day.
It is.
It's wild. How many times a week do you think that you're dying?
Not very many, but I do think, I was talking about this with my dad last night. I do think about it, I think more than the average person because of how heavy I am. But I don't necessarily not like that. I tend to find that like most people seem to not really be able to confront the fact that we all die in any sort of meaningful or serious way. And I think it's just programming that you're supposed to not think about it. But for whatever reason, I think about it a lot, and I kind of like makes it okay. It's like it's the one thing we're all going to do no matter what. No matter what happens, eventually you take your turn, you do it. It's probably not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. But in the grand scheme of your life, it is the biggest deal that there is.
It's the only thing.
It's right. No, I get that.
It's the last thing.
It is the last thing.
I think that the part of death that freaks me out is the uncertainty of it. Like,
I don't like the idea of not knowing that I'm dead. Like, if there's nothing, I don't like the idea of it ending, and then I don't even get to, like... I hope there's at least, like, a lobby afterwards where you can check out and be like, all right, that was weird.
Yeah.
And, and then be like, all right, we're shutting it off now. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Boom. That's fine. But to the idea that it just ends and then there's no explanation, that seems cruel to do this to any of us.
I think that kind of fits under that, like, life's not supposed to be fair, though. Like,
I know, but also, whatever it is just the way that it is, and that's it. It's also completely caring,
Dude, the pandemic happens, everything shuts down.
Would you do me a favor? Would you hand me my weed pen?
This Delta 8, of course.
Yes.
So, pandemic, everything shuts down. I had pretty much just put balls to the wall into comedy. So then comedy shuts down and I have nothing. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? And I talked to a therapist and he's like, find some things that make you happy. And I realized, like, outside of comedy, there wasn't much.
Yeah.
And I was like, food makes me happy.
Yeah.
Drugs make me happy.
Yeah.
But that's not, like, real. Like, they're cool and it's fun to study them and to have, like, a hobby around it. But it's not.
Drugs are only fun if they are enhancing other things that you're doing.
Bingo.
If you're only doing the drugs, they get very sad very fast.
Yeah,
for
bingo.
me, at
Bingo.
least.
No,
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm stuck in this place. So I was like, well, maybe I like nature. I'm surrounded by this beautiful shit. Every time I look at a mountain, I'm awestruck. Maybe I should go and be around them.
Awestruck.
So I went out to stay in Navajo territory in a hogan, which is like a mud hut. And I stayed like in Monument Valley. Like, I drove down the road from the Forrest Gump movie, but I have never seen Forrest Gump. So I tried to recreate the Forrest Gump scene, and I ran the wrong direction. So I have a video that I set up with a tripod of me in the middle of Monument
that's
Valley.
so funny.
And it's me running.
That's so funny.
And it's just me running the wrong direction.
Oh, my God. That's so good.
I was going to stitch them
Did
together.
one
and I was
shot,
like,
yeah.
I'm a fucking idiot. Dude, I waited like 45 minutes for no cars to pass by.
I love also that you're doing that despite not having seen the movie. So it's like, what do you care anyways?
There were signs.
There were signs that said that this is what it was?
They're like, this is the Forrest Gump part. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
That's funny.
But out there, like...
what a good movie that is. Have you seen it now?
No.
We should watch it.
I'm down.
It's actually like a really good movie.
I don't think so.
It is a good... Hold on. Everybody else in the room, can we take a poll on this? Forrest Gump is like one of the best movies ever, right? Yeah.
I just watched it a month ago and I cried.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Dan? Yeah.
You haven't even seen it. You shut up.
Yeah, but this is why I love Dan, because Dan won't lie.
What do you think? You don't think so? Come on in, Dan.
Yeah.
I just think it kind of
hijacks your emotions because it has every big moment in history that they just try to piggyback off of. So
Yeah, that's the movie.
no, I get
He's
that.
also not a real person.
I know, I get that. It's just, it's not good.
It feels manipulative.
It's very manipulative.
This guy just said Forrest Gump is not good.
It's fine.
What are you talking about?
Look, man, this is exactly what happened with me in Top Gun, the first one. Everybody told me that Top Gun's a great movie. Top Gun is just an American classic.
It is.
Nothing will make you feel more patriotic and just
That's
like,
why I don't know who
fuck
told you
yeah,
that. That's crazy.
let's go, like planes. Woo!
That's too much. That's too
Dangerous-
much.
It's so cool. My old boss, it was his favorite movie, and then I sat down and watched it. It's a fucking 3 out of 10 at best. But
the whole
big,
point,
scary fight
the whole
scenes
point
with
of
the
Forrest
planes-
Gump is nostalgia. That's the point of that movie, and they nail nostalgia. They nail nostalgia.
Okay,
Also,
and-
I don't even know why I'm arguing with you. You haven't even seen the fucking movie.
That's why I was talking about Top Gun, a movie I have seen.
Yeah. Okay,
right?
but
Because it gets
right. But
similar-
we're talking about Forrest Gump. It doesn't make sense that we would then argue Forrest Gump with Top Gun.
But they're the same movie.
All right. Well,
They're war movies
I
for
gotta go.
nostalgia.
I gotta go.
The new Top
Sorry,
Gun we
something's
saw
come up.
together
I
is
must
pretty
leave
good.
immediately.
You know what is a great franchise of films that not enough people talk about? Air Bud.
All right. I get it's a comedy podcast, you know what I mean? But if we're going to start talking about Forrest Gump, I mean, it's such a good movie.
Okay.
It's, I mean, you
Why
can
does
even,
he
hold on,
talk
hold on.
like this?
What's the
I've
tomato
seen
rating? Hold on, let me
pieces
pull
of
it up.
the movie.
Let me pull it up.
Dude, the tomato rating doesn't mean shit because Anchorman has a terrible one. It has like a C minus,
All
and
right.
Anchorman's
Well, I don't know.
incredible.
I don't know through what medium we need to, I mean, some
Talladega
sort of
Nights,
authority.
great film.
Great movie. That's a great movie. Absolutely.
cool. Shawshank Redemption,
One of the best
mediocre
movies
at
ever.
best. 71%.
All right. Not as good as I thought.
Exactly. It's fine.
But it's an American, it is an American classic film.
So's Gone with the Wind, which is a dog shit movie.
Whoa, all right, let's not throw that.
Hold on, wait a minute. I agree with this. I don't think Gone with the Wind is that good.
You probably don't think any movie before 1980 is good.
Untrue.
The Jerk with Steve
Untrue.
Martin. Fantastic. Holds
So
up.
many movies. Taxi Driver is one of the best movies ever.
Never seen it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you really genuinely like Gone with the Wind?
For its time, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's the thing where I suck at the for its time stuff because I can get it, but
Like, do you like Citizen Kane?
never seen it.
Okay.
Is that the
I'll
Rosebud
admit that's
one?
a tough one. That's a tough one to try to really grasp as to why it's like the greatest movie ever. People consider that, like film people consider that like the best film that's ever been made.
Because before that, they never really moved cameras.
Right.
Oh.
So he kind of invented.
That's
camera
and
movement.
Marlon Brando invented acting. You know, that was his big thing. He was the first one to like emotions.
I don't think he-
Stella!
I don't think he invented acting.
He invented that kind. He was the first one to do it. That's why he was such a cocky motherfucker.
Oh, is that
And he
right?
fucked Richard Pryor.
I've heard that. Is that true? Is that
100%,
confirmed?
yeah.
Who confirmed that?
Richard Pryor's like wife, probably.
Really? That's interesting.
It definitely happened. Marlon Brando
Yeah.
definitely fucked Richard Pryor.
yeah.
Or maybe other way around.
You think Richard Pryor saw Forrest Gump? What year did Richard Pryor die?
I don't know. I'm not a big numbers.
Not a big numbers guy.
numbers guy. I don't know years.
Speaking of big numbers, dude.
2005.
2000. He died in 2005, so he probably saw
Yeah, he
Forrest Gump.
definitely saw
Yeah,
Forrest
it was a good movie.
But he never saw Interstellar. You know.
Interstellar is great.
You know what he probably never saw? The first Transformers movie.
True.
Incredible. The moment when the Camaro turns from the old Camaro into the new one, and it does a little woo, and then drives back and picks him up. Groundbreaking. I get that it's a comedy podcast, but I have an unironic Autobots logo at the top of my back tattooed there because I love Transformers.
I know that. I know.
Autobots roll out. I'm Optimus Prime,
I mean, I don't even know.
leader of the Autobots.
This is at some point. This is embarrassing. You know what I mean?
For who? You for not liking the Autobots.
Yeah. No, I was never. Were you into Transformers as a kid?
Yeah, big time.
Really?
Yeah.
The cartoon and stuff.
The cartoon, the toys.
Really?
I love the toys.
See, I was never into it as a kid, so I just don't have that like connection or whatever.
Yeah. Teenage
So like
Mutant
with
Ninja Turtles?
with Top Gun, like I wanted to be a fighter pilot
Oh yeah.
growing up, so that movie was everything.
So they had a Top Gun ride at the Six Flags in Arlington.
Oh, I thought
That
you were
was
saying
you
LA.
would sit. It looked like a movie theater. You would sit in this chair, but it would lean around and stuff, and it showed you flying in a jet,
Mhm.
and it would play Danger Zone. And as a kid, it was my favorite ride because it was like, I'm a fucking fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Same thing. So you'd think I would love it, but I didn't see it until I was an adult and was like, this is a terrible movie.
Do you remember the Six Flags? Did you go to the Six Flags in L.A. ever?
Up north, it's in the mountains.
Yeah, it's a little north. How it's yeah, what city is it in?
Valencia,
Is it Valencia? No, I think Valencia is.
Magic Mountain.
It's Magic Mountain. That's right. Yeah. You've been to
I did
Magic
not
Mountain.
go.
Oh, you've never been there? Oh, never
I
mind.
wanted to go.
Well, every single story I was about to tell is.
Well, say more. People have probably been.
Yeah.
I know some things about it.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I like one of the rides there.
Which one?
The Superman ride.
Oh, is it where you dangle?
No.
You
It's
dangle? Or
it's
you
just
shoot
a
up
cart. Yeah, it's just a cart that just shoots forward really fast and then up and then back down again. And
Yeah, that's
it.
very cool. They have
Simple.
very similar ride in the Dallas or Arlington one called Mr. Freeze,
All right.
where you shoot, you do two loops, then you go straight up, and then you stop, and then you do it all backwards.
So Dan Chaucer has the joke about the accident that happened at the
Oh my god, with the
Magic
dangly legs
Mountain
where the
one?
girl
yeah,
punts
where
the
he
kid's
punched
head.
the girl's head. Yeah.
It's
Wow.
such a good story because it's all real.
That's how you go.
That man,
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
How
do you want to die?
I think about this a lot because part of me wants to die in my sleep so I don't have the anxiety of knowing it's coming.
See, I can't deal with the anxiety of not knowing it's coming.
That's where I'm also at.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
fuck, if I die in my sleep, like I'm not gonna have prepared.
Yeah.
What if I sleep naked and I look bad that night and then I have to be found like that, just sprawled out? I want to. I don't want to die naked.
I don't want people to see my pee-pee, dude.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a very
I don't want to
interesting
die
word.
naked, bro.
Yeah. I don't want them to have to wheel me out naked. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Or to try and fucking just Weekend at Bernie's some fucking boxer shorts onto me so they can get me out with my dignity.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I have to remember to tell Taylor later that if I do die in the apartment, to make sure that she puts clothes on me before they show up. Yeah, that's a whole thing. That's a whole new thing to worry about. I wasn't even. I didn't even know I was worried about that.
Oh, we've given you fears on 2 consecutive podcasts. Last time you realized that people could mistake Trey and others for you and then think you were bad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck. it could
Oh
work bad.
shit. What are you looking for?
This thing.
I'm looking for this thing.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Highly social.
I love nicotine. Dude, shout out LA Vape Co. They're the fucking LAVapeco.com. Code Eaton. You 20% off. Fucking vapes, bro.
I got a brand deal. Did you hear about this?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is this?
I posted an Instagram picture of me in a car. I always wear Carhartt. I posted a picture of me in a Carhartt shirt and then tagged Carhartt in it and said, "Pay me." Just joking.
Yeah.
And this company in LA called One Bone reached out to me and sent me like a bunch of stuff just to wear. And I actually have like no obligation or whatever to wear it. They just sent me just a ton of shit.
That's awesome.
I know. And then they gave me like a credit every month so I can go back and buy shirts and stuff.
Nice.
It's not like a huge credit. It's like $200 or whatever.
That's
but
fucking
and their
great.
stuff's pretty expensive. So that's like 1.5 shirts. But still, every month go in there,
That's fucking great.
snag a shirt. I know.
Get you a one bone.
They all the stuff looks pretty good. So I don't want to say too much yet, before having seen it, but all of it looks pretty good.
I got hit up one time by a company offering a similar deal called 12 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, or 7 grand. It's called 7 grand. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That sounds bougie. I'll check it out. That seems like a me kind of thing. And it's called 7 grand because they make shirts up to 7XL. So all of the models.
I remember you telling me this.
These huge fucking
They
dudes.
sent you 5X and then wanted to promote it as 3X, right?
The other way around. Yeah, they're like, it's a 3X. We'll say it's a 5X.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mean.
It's like, you'll be like a fatty inspiration. Like,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
crazy.
5X never looked this good, dude.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's so funny.
Oh, man.
What were they called? They were called 7 grand?
7 grand, yeah. I think that was it. But it was whatever size they went up to. But just imagining a 7XL shirt is crazy. Like,
Not really.
yeah. That's fair.
I've worn 6 before.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's just one more.
Yeah.
We can do it. I'm a little embarrassed to say how recently I've considered going the other direction to get 600-pound life for the exposure. I mean, it's like considered seriously, you know?
But what would it take?
150 pounds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know, it's not a horrible idea. 150 pounds at this point is not that much weight. I could take that off pretty quickly. I could take that back off pretty quickly if I really had to after the episode airs.
So
Does everyone in that show have the surgery? Have you ever watched it?
No, but it is easier to lose weight the bigger you get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I remember,
at 600 pounds, 150 pounds, nothing.
I remember the guy that was like 800 or 900 pounds that was stuck in his bed and couldn't do anything. The first exercise they had him do to start losing weight was just this.
Yeah.
And he lost like 50 pounds of just doing it. So
Yeah.
sometimes I do this. I was just like, hey, I'm never going to get that big. I do this.
Dan, do you work out?
That's so funny. Oh, man.
Good looking guy, dude. I'll tell you what. That Dan guy. Hey, show me your butthole real quick. Oh.
We'll put that on the Patreon. So you've been crushing it comedy-wise recently.
Yeah, man, it's been going good.
Yeah.
It has been going good.
You're going to be going. Can we talk about where you're going in September?
Yeah, I'll be in Zanies with the great Tony Hinchcliffe.
It's amazing.
I know, I'm excited. Very
Fucking
excited.
pumped for you,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
And you got up on Kill Tony not too long ago?
Yep.
When does that episode come out?
That episode actually will drop Monday.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fucking exciting.
That should be super, super cool. It was a very, very, I was talking to Red Band about it last night. It's a very bad episode overall. Every single person that they called up was, they had a string of just the worst people I've ever seen. Well, there's a difference because sometimes they bring up people and they're bad in a good way.
Yeah.
Like they're bad. They're so bad that it's entertaining for the show.
Yeah.
These people were so bland for so long. Like the audience was out of it. It just sucked and it was a nightmare. Mm-hmm. And I went up. I had a good set and a decent interview.
Hell yeah.
And it was definitely. I think I got lucky in that it was a highlight of that episode. I think in any other episode it would have just kind of been fine. But that episode, I looked like a fucking superstar because everyone that went up before was an actual retarded person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that can happen.
Mm-hmm. How people can be retarded.
Well, just no, just that there's so many people that do comedy or are fans of comedy that have this delusion because there's some people that are so good at it they make it look easy.
Right.
Like they're up there and they're just telling a story that sounds like it happened to them that day.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Tony's one of those guys, man. I saw him on Wednesday. We had the craziest. It was Joe Rogan and friends at Vulcan. Mm-hmm. We just had the craziest audience. And this lady in the middle of Tony's set started freaking out. She was upset about something he said or whatever. And and the whole show stopped and she got up and left. And, Tony is just like he's the roast master, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, he just went off on this lady and just started crushing and then made a full recovery. It was the most impressive recovery of a show gone wrong that I've ever seen. And it was, and he made it look. That's what I thought in my head when he got off was that looked easy. And everyone here thinks that was easy, but I don't, but maybe I'm one of the only people who, because I do stand up, can appreciate how crazy what he just did was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To turn it around.
People don't get that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You lack the depth to realize how crazy all
and
that
for him
is.
to go back into the material that she got upset about and start crushing with it again is so hard to do.
Yeah.
And he just, anyways, I don't know. I actually feel weird about talking about this now because maybe I shouldn't even brought it up, but I don't know. I just admire him a lot and I admire that part of him specifically, which is just the make it look easy.
Yeah.
No,
I get.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you didn't at all.
Yeah.
Talking.
Tony's story.
No, I like that a lot. It's true. I mean, he does make it look so easy that people think they can get up there and do it themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason, the appeal of Kill Tony.
Yeah.
Is you go and you're like, I could be a comic.
Yeah.
And they see people get up and they crush everything because naturally funny people can be funny for a minute.
A minute's easy. Yeah. Well, yeah. You're not doing stand up in a minute.
No.
Not really. It's a party trick.
Yeah.
Anything under 10 minutes is kind of a party trick.
A little bit. Yeah. I think
Maybe 7. Anything under 7 minutes is a party trick. I don't think it's till 10 minutes that you're really doing stand up. It becomes a different thing.
Yeah, I under that amount of time, it has to be so manicured or it's. I'm thinking like TV stuff,
Yeah.
Because there's people that are very good comics, but when you see their 5 or 7 minute late night set, it's not the same as seeing them at a fucking club.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sorry.
No, it's
The Delta 8.
I know it'll get you.
That's very strong Delta 8.
Yeah, that's like Delta 16
Oh my
or something.
god. Yeah. Delta 9, dude.
Dude, I don't know. I like watching people bomb terribly on Kill Tony.
Who's your favorite stand-up?
Oh, it changes from time to time.
Yeah.
Probably for the longest, it's been Chad Daniels.
Who's your goat?
Either Chad, Louie, or Tosh.
Louie.
Yeah.
Big news.
Tosh is a fucking G.
Tosh is one of the most underrated stand-up comedians out there.
I feel
People
like
sleep on him.
When you talk to stand-ups, there's a lot of stand-ups that put him very highly.
Yeah.
But a lot of lay people think of him as just Tosh.0.
Right.
But People Pleaser is a top 10 of all-time album.
Yeah. What's the one he did?
Happy Thoughts.
Happy Thoughts. That
True
one's
Stories I Made Up.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
They're all fucking great.
Yeah.
And every time I've seen him, incredible.
Yeah.
I just saw him this year.
Yeah.
New stuff, great fucking jokes,
Yeah.
dude. Unreal. It was so much fun.
You are working with one of my absolute heroes this week.
Louis.
The man himself.
Louis C.K., dude. I'm hosting for him on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So the year before I started comedy, 2017, or the year before I started taking it seriously, I had a really good job. So I would buy front row tickets to go see comedians. And it was all my favorite people. So I saw Tom Segura, Whitney Cummings, John Mulaney, Chad Daniels. I saw like 3 times in one night. Like I had like all these people, Chris D'Elia, Joe Rogan.
Is Chad Daniels the guy who did that I Need You to Kill thing?
Yes.
With Tom Segura? Okay.
And Pete Lee,
All right,
yeah.
I know who it is, yeah. Is that guy big now?
He does very well.
Really? Okay.
I just saw him with Matt Bronger at the Lab in Hollywood not too long ago. But Jim Gaffigan and Jim Jeffries and all these fucking people, Neil Brennan. Like I saw all these people, and it was just like such a highlight to get to see them doing it. And it was in the midst of Louis getting canceled.
Yeah.
So I never got to see him. And then every other opportunity where he's been in the same town where I could see him, the tickets sold out so fast, and it was just prohibitively expensive.
Right.
So I've never gotten to see him perform live.
Really?
And he is, I mean, I think it's easier to call him a GOAT than Dave Chappelle for stand-up comedy.
Oh, yeah. For
if
stand-up,
you're just talking stand-up comedy, the GOAT,
yeah.
Louis.
Easily.
He's put out so many unbelievable albums.
Easily.
His jokes are fucking perfect.
He's also doing his best work now, which is crazy.
It is bonkers.
What's going on, Dan?
So, for
is that for a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are scalped. They originally were $35 through Creek's website, so that's how much. That's the premium you're paying.
So 35. They're at what now?
Now.
$275.
That being said, seeing Louis in that intimate of a space would be worth $275.
Oh, Louis doing a full hour in a fucking 200 seater, like that is so rare.
Yeah. Well, I saw him 3 times at Zany's, which is a 300 seater.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the last time I was on mushrooms, I cried.
I believe it, dude. I believe it.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And he did a new. It was when he was working on the last hour he just put out. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he did a new. All 3 hours were. Let's say there was a 25 minutes of it was different than the last night.
Wow.
So there was a couple bits you could tell were kind of already done, and then there was a bunch that he was like working on,
God,
and it was.
So
I mean, it was incredible.
Cool.
And you know what's crazy is this is how good he is. I didn't notice a difference in crushing between any of them.
Yeah.
But then eventually he made a decision that this is the best one, and you're like, I don't even know how you would. You know what I mean? They all crushed equally as hard.
Yeah, like, oh, you got 100% people to laugh on that one?
Yeah.
But I think 100% of people laughed harder at this one.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't even know. And then I saw him once. on the previous hour he was working on.
Sincerely.
I saw Sincerely at, where was it? It was like a 2,000 seater in Knoxville, the Civic Auditorium. But that was the first show that I got into that free because of comedy, and I felt like that was a big deal.
That is cool. That's such a good feeling.
I called Zany. Zany's was the one that did they have a concert side, so they were the one that were producing it, and I had just asked the booker at Zany's if I could. I just shot in the dark. I said, "Hey, would I be able to go to this?" She said, "Yeah." And she gave me 2 tickets. They were waiting for me there at the will call, which is like so not a big deal. But at the time, I was a year into stand up, and I was like, I can't believe I'm getting to see Louis for free just because I do stand up.
It is fucking cool though.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to someone the other day because I've had like a bunch of really good shit happen in a row.
Yeah.
You know, like
you have. It's gonna end. Something bad's about to happen.
I'm aware. Well, some bad stuff has happened, but I've had a pretty rough go of it.
All right.
We haven't talked much about it. I haven't talked about it on the podcast, but things in my personal life have been fucked. So it's nice that stand-up's going so well, but so many good things happen in a row that they start to like bleed into each other. So it's just like the last week has just been awesome thing after awesome thing.
I don't. Do you get this with stand-up, especially? I always feel like everything seems like such a big deal until you get it, and the second you get it, it doesn't feel like it. It feels like, oh, everyone's done this, and it's nothing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I definitely like. It depends on the thing.
Yeah.
So like when I got a manager the first time,
right?
I was like, this is so fucking sick. And I wanted everybody, all my friends, to be amped up with me. And like, man, that's so fucking cool. And then like, it was like, oh, everybody.
Right. Everyone has a manager.
And this isn't doing anything. For
right.
me. Like, I just have that.
Right.
And then, you know, it's like you get your first like really good tape. And you're like, oh man, I have a really good tape. Like, fuck yeah, I have something to show people I'm good at comedy. And then you're like, fucking everybody has that.
Or it's just like your first time playing at a club, or your first time doing secret show, or whatever. It seems like there's like these unattainable things, and then the second at least for me, the second you get it, you're like, oh, this is actually nothing. Or even like when we headlined
Comedy House, New Orleans.
Yeah, when we headlined the Comedy House together, it was like in my head, it was like, oh, dude, I'm headlining a club. This could happen. As soon as we got the contract, I was like, oh yeah, this is like a.
We did the Addison Improv together. We got to do an improv stage with the brick background.
Yeah, exactly.
And improv, and you're
thing,
like,
and you're
I did the thing.
Yeah.
All the people I've seen did this thing. And they're like, all the people did this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
My favorite one was, so especially when I get off from like a really good set, I can tell that it went well. But for me, it takes a second to like let it sink in and process the difference between like an 8 and a 10.
I'm getting better at that. I usually everything is a 0 when I get off stage.
Yeah, I know you're a sad boy, but it's because you think about death so much. Like, this could have been my last set. It wasn't that good. But when I did Reno, it's the longest set I've ever done. I did 46 minutes, and I had like 2 more stories that I didn't even pull out, but the crowd was like in between laughing really hard. A couple of them were yawning. And it was like, okay, you're tired. Yeah. It's been a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
But I got off stage and I finished with my big closer. And then it crushed really hard. And I was like, I got another fun joke. Let's see what they do. And then I did probably my meanest joke, my grandma Alzheimer's joke.
Yeah, I like that joke. I love that joke.
And it destroyed. Yeah. And I was like, man, I'll get off on that. Yeah. That was great. And I was like, thank you guys so much. And I put the mic up, and then the exit of the stage went straight to outside. So I dap up the host and I walk out, and he said some things to me, didn't even,
yeah.
And then I walked outside and like the air hit my face. And then my buddy Yurgo that had featured walked out and was like, how do you feel, buddy? And I was like, I think I just crushed. And he's like, you fucking did, man. That was fucking amazing. So I'm really happy. And I look down, I see I did the long time and I have the set. I'm like, man, that's so cool. And then I post about it on Facebook. And right after I posted it, a buddy of mine, you know, it shows up on your timeline, like your post at the top, and it shows the next Facebook post. The next Facebook post was from like 2 or 3 hours ago of my buddy that was like, I can't believe I just did an hour and a half.
Right.
Like, he literally did double the time that I did at a club for a sold out crowd. And it was like, I did 45 for 80 people. I was
Right.
like, I'm
done. I'm something. Right.
Yep.
Very humbling.
Yep. A lot of humility in this game.
Not for me, dude.
Yeah.
I'm getting high.
The Delta 8's kicking in.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
What's the best meal you've had recently?
I said Chipotle a few minutes ago.
I fucking hate you so much.
It's pretty good, dude.
Chipotle sucks shit.
Oh, whatever. You look like a Chipotle. Let me ask you a question. Do you fuck like you ever fuck like one girl or it's always like 10?
I go one by one, actually.
Nice, dude. Good for you. Fucking idiot. Best meal I've had recently. Hey, how was this? My wife.
Oh, hey, yeah, whoa.
No more Delta 8, dude. Where did we go last? Where did we go last together? That pizza place.
That was great.
That was fine.
DeLuca Gaucho.
Let's talk about it. I don't want to say that that's my answer because it's not my answer, but we can talk about that place. I thought that was going to be total bullshit.
Uh-huh.
It's $25.
Yep.
First of all, this is great. So you show up to the. Do you want to? Let me tell the story.
Yeah.
So you show up to the place. We're gonna meet there at 3:30, right? They open at 4. No, we're gonna meet there at 4, right? They open at 4. You walk inside. You go to the hostess, right? And you say, "Hey, I'd like a table for 4." And she goes, "Do you have a reservation?" And you say, "No." Right? Because it's a pizza place.
No, I don't have a fucking reservation.
And she goes, we're not taking any walk-ins today. And you went back to your car and you got on
phone. You called Dylan.
You called Dylan. Well,
Dylan
that's not
check online.
That's fat in the story.
All right, sorry.
Dylan literally is fat in the story. But so you went on Open Table, right? And then just booked a table and walked back in and said, "I have a reservation."
And she was like, right.
But my favorite part is it's me, Dylan, and you, and we're all sitting at a table. We're all very fat. No, hold on. Where it's me, you, and Dylan all sitting at a table. We're fat guys. Oh, it is me, you, and Trey. You're right. Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's me, you, and Trey sitting at the table. We're all fat guys, right? And Dylan walks in the door, and then before even asking him anything, she just points at our table and goes, "They're over there." I mean, it's so rude. It's so crazy rude.
So first,
and man, I hate that Dylan. Oh man, because if it had been me, I'd have been like, I would have known what was going on, and I would have said, "I'm not with them," and I would have gotten another table just to spite her.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have had a reservation.
Yeah. That's true. She'd be like, "We're not taking reservations." And then I just went, maybe I can sit with these guys.
Yeah. I guess I'll go sit with the swine.
Yeah.
It is insane, though, that the three of us were sitting there, and then Dylan walks in, and she just goes,
yeah.
There, the fat table.
No, here's what I'll say. It's $25. It's all you can eat. It's basically CC's, right?
Good CC's.
But I will say, when the pizza started showing up, it is actually really good pizza.
First off, the guy comes out. It took a minute to get stuff started.
Yeah.
But then they bring you out meatballs.
Which are good. Yeah,
on an arugula plate.
I hated that.
Such a waste of space.
Yeah.
But then tomato bisque in a cup that you can drink.
It was lobster bisque.
That's what I meant. Lobster bisque.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, great.
And drink.
I got a spoon.
But you drink.
Yeah.
Cup bisque.
I don't need to drink a cup of soup.
So, and then when you turn the little thing on your table over, because it's like fogo de chao. It's a Brazilian style. So
right.
It's just unlimited everything, and people are just walking around.
Eventually, people started keep coming to our table despite us having it red. They'd be like, "No, but you want this?" There, one dude was great, man, because he would see it red, and he'd be like, "No, but you guys definitely want to try this, though."
Yeah, he's like, "I know it's red, but buffalo chicken."
Yeah,
yeah.
He said they you guys seem like a buffalo chicken table. I was like, whatever, dude. Just put this. Hey, shut up and give me the pizza, dude.
There were so many good ones. The fucking
remember that guy? So it's like buffalo chicken pizza, fucking Greek, whatever, lamb, whatever. But all these complicated names, and then some dude walks up and goes, "Cheese." Yeah. I literally told him, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude."
No, dude. He had a 4 cheese with truffle oil, and he just wasn't selling it right. That one bald dude was selling
that was different. He
amazing.
did just have cheese.
Oh, it was
different than the 4 cheese.
Oh, the 4 cheese with truffle oil was incredible.
Yeah.
But
I almost knocked it out of his hand.
that one guy
Put it on the floor. Dude.
came over and was like trying to sell them, and then every now and then they would walk by with the Portuguese pizza that just has these.
Oh yeah, it's
fucking,
just
like,
onions,
slices of
dude.
egg.
Hey Dan, have you ever had Portuguese pizza? What would you guess is on Portuguese pizza?
Well, I just found out I'm Portuguese Jewish, actually. so-
Whoa,
Gross.
Yeah. Which I didn't know was a thing. Portuguese pizza, I would imagine some type of like beef.
It's onions and boiled eggs.
and red peppers.
Look up Portuguese pizza.
I'm no longer Portuguese.
Yeah.
dude. They kept bringing it around at the.
What I
all-you-can-eat
loved
place,
about
and we were
that-
like, get the fuck out!
Every
of
single
here.
time they brought it, it was a full pie. No one had taken a single slice of this boiled egg bullshit.
Yeah.
Why is this a thing?
Oh, but the tikka masala.
Chicken tikka masala pizza is fucking awesome.
Are you sure they weren't fucking with you?
It could have been. It very well could have been because they.
It seems a very. I mean,
It's
I
probably
can't
been the same
imagine
Portuguese pizza
the
since they
deep
opened.
level joke involved.
Don't think they have a gag pie?
Yeah.
A gag pie. That's pretty good.
Dude, come on. I bet the thing is to see how long they can go before someone takes a slice, and it's been the same pizza since they opened.
So as soon as somebody takes a slice, like alarms go off and there's like confetti and shit like that.
You're the grossest person in Austin.
I did that to a teacher in high school once.
What?
We had a. This is great. We did it was a science class, and we had a word of the day, right? And we made the word rock, and so we just waited. As soon as we said when he said, I went into everybody before the class. I was like, we're gonna do a word of the day thing, all right? And there was a bunch of football players in the class. Sorry, there's a bunch of football players in the class. So it's basically just all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do a word of the day. Today's lesson is geology. The word of the day will be rock. So as soon as Mr. Freeman says rock, we're all gonna stand up and just start screaming as loud as we can. Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Freeman comes out. It's maybe 10 minutes into the class, and he has these rocks in his hand. And he was like this older gentleman, super, super nice guy. One of the best teachers I've ever had, truly. I think about him all the time. But really weird guy. Weird guy, kind of hunched over, walked weird and slow, weird movements. Funny. Actually, legitimately... Actually, no one else found him funny, but I thought legitimately funny guy. And I'm thinking he might not have been funny. I may have just been laughing at him. Yeah. No, I loved him. He fucked me really well. And anyways, I'm sorry. Cut that out. He's such a nice guy. Anyways, he has two rocks in his hand. He just goes, "These rocks," and we all went, "Ah!" And he went. And he dropped them, and one of them was like this quartz thing that like shattered.
Oh no!
I felt really bad. Anyways,
we had a teacher.
It's a fun game.
We had a teacher in my middle school, 5th and 6th grade. It was animal science class.
Yeah.
His name was Mr. Allison, and he had a vast collection of exotic animals, like fish and spiders and birds and like
Live or like
live.
okay.
Yeah. And he would bring them in, and you would get to meet these animals, and he had them all at his house, and you could get one of your extracurriculars could be like animal caretaker,
Okay.
and you could get to go feed all these animals and hang out with them.
Uh-huh.
It was super fucking cool. It was the benefits of a rich school district for sure.
Yeah.
So one day he brings in his collection of tarantulas that are all these very rare ones, including the Mexican rose-kneed tarantula, which is fucking this big, and it has beautiful bright pink and red knees.
Okay.
So like at the parts where it bends, and then it has a big old fucking spin. Like
I think I've seen pictures of what you're talking about. Yeah.
they're big, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
look
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
But he's like, hey, they're very gentle. They don't bite.
Right.
If they get upset, they'll stick their bristles into you. But even that won't hurt that bad. We've got some stuff to fix it. So we're just gonna let him walk on your hands.
Yeah.
And so like he goes one by one, and like all the girls in the class, they're like, ah, but they're fine.
Right.
And so he goes through, and I'm at like one of the last tables, and then he brings a spider over, and he puts it on the table, and it crawls up my hand, and then it gets to right here, and I don't know if it was someone scooting a chair out, but something startled it, and it went, and it like tensed up,
Mm-hmm.
and it scared me so bad that I just went, ah! And I just threw it as hard as I could.
Yeah, and now it's pissed.
No, now it is splattered on the
Oh,
fire.
no.
It exploded because I just launched it as hard as I could. And we're at the back table right by those the big black top science cabinets.
Yeah.
So it just explodes. And Mr. Allison's heart just breaks.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that was his favorite spider.
So sorry. And it scared me.
Yeah,
so
it's not your fault, but like
my family had to buy it. Like I remember having to take like the spider check to school. To
you know
buy
what's
a new
interesting?
spider.
How much was it?
It's like $500,
Wow.
dude. It was a lot.
You know what's interesting about those teachers is that when I don't know, for me, like when I was growing up, those would be my favorite teachers that would do shit like that, and you'd look up to them and be like, man, you're so cool. And then when later in life you realize how weird it is for that man to have so many exotic pets and not be married.
No, he was married.
Oh, okay.
He was married with kids.
To a spider.
He was like genuinely one of the like kindest human beings. I had a few of those through like school.
I did too.
But I also had like
the worst.
Oh man, my freshman year, I got arrested with pot at the end of the year, and I got put into alternative education, which is where you go to a separate spot in the school district, but you have to get there an hour early, and it's just you and the other bad kids. And it was run by this guy named Dale Putty, who's like from West Texas. His nose is kind of upturned.
He looks like Putty.
He's got like kind of...
That guy, I don't know. He looks like Putty, though.
He has a very ruddish, piggy appearance.
Yes.
And he talks like this.
Yeah.
One of the kindest people. He believes in you. He's like, I know you had trouble, but like, we're going to help you. I love Mr. Putty. He was amazing. So he helps me sophomore year, junior year. I get I'm a good person. Senior year, like 5 days before the end of the school year, me and my buddy get in trouble for smoking pot. We had hotboxed my truck all the way from Chipotle to school.
Nice.
And then we got out and slammed the doors real fast to keep the smoke.
Yeah.
Because it was a short day. It was the end of the year. So we go in. We immediately get in trouble for laughing. Like, we were 45 minutes late to class.
Yeah.
We thought we were 15 minutes early.
Yeah.
We walked. I opened the door to my classroom like fucking Kramer on Seinfeld. I was like, hello! And she's like, Mr. Eaton, nice of you to join us. I'm like, you're welcome for being early. She's like, you're 45 minutes late.
That's
like,
so funny.
Fuck. And I sit down and then everything, she's like teaching geometry. And I'm like, fucking triangles. You know? So she alerts. I go to my next class, and then Mr. Putty comes and pulls me out of class. He's the assistant principal at the senior high now. I'm like, fuck. So he walks me down, and they take me, and they examine my pupils in the nurse's office to see if I'm high. And I remember she turns and goes, his pupils aren't reacting at all. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
Do your pupils dilate on
That they become less responsive to light.
Oh, is that
when
right?
you're stoned.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And
I
so
didn't
that's
know
what she was checking for. She's like, they're not reacting
They're not
at all.
even moving.
I was like,
This guy might be dead.
So then I go to Dr. Presley, the main principal's office, and he's like, listen, we're going to search your vehicle. If we find anything, we're going to deal with it. And I was like, I don't want you to search my car. I'm not letting you search my car. I'm not going to unlock it. And he goes, all right, well, we can get, cops down, we can get Officer Marley down here, the school resource officer. We get some dogs, and then we can get a warrant to search your vehicle if you want to involve them. I was like, well, you can search it if you're not going to call them.
Yeah.
Like, if it's just going to stay between us,
Yeah.
that's fine with me. And he goes, all right, we won't have any police get involved unless I find a weapon. And I was like, come on. Come on. I'm not a weapon
You're about
guy.
to have so many guns in this car.
Right?
Yeah.
So we walk out, and it's me, my best friend, and the principal, and Mr. Putty. So we walk out. I have a Dodge Ram Daytona. So it's the orange pickup truck with a spoiler. So it's just this gaudy, fucking ridiculous thing with like affliction stickers on it and shit.
Castles.
And and it's a 4-door truck. And so we go. My parking spot is in the front of the lot.
Affliction stickers.
Yeah, I was such a
Wow,
douchebag.
dude, you are an affliction.
So
dude.
we walk up to the truck, and Dr. Presley opens the driver's side door, and smoke starts billowing out.
Right.
And then he walks around the other side, and he opens the passenger door, and it creates a cross draft.
Right.
Now smoke is like really coming out. I'm like, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm trying to get
And Mr. Putty looks over at me and goes, Michael, did you drive through a brush fire? I'm like, what? And he goes, smells like someone's been burning grass.
Wow.
And it was the funniest thing I've ever. I fell on the floor, dude. It was the greatest. I thought my life was over, and I was like getting arrested for pot, and this dude's just making terrible puns about the smoke. So
Did you get in trouble?
So he laughs about everything, and I laugh about everything. They don't find it. Mr. Putty is
no
like,
one else finds it
I
funny.
just crushed.
Yeah.
But
I just crushed.
Mr. Putty is murdering in the parking lot. Like, Dr. Presley gives him the light.
Yeah.
No, but so they search, and we had already smoked everything, so they just find the pipe. And they're like, well, this is paraphernalia. So he throws it away.
Yeah.
So we go inside, and Dr. Presley goes, all right, Mike, here's the deal. You have 5 days left of school.
Yeah.
I need you just not to fuck up anymore, please. Here's the deal. If you're high right now and all this, then you have a mandatory 45-day in-school suspension or alternative education. You won't be able to graduate on time. It's going to fuck up everything in the fall. So I need you to tell me that you're not high right now. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm really stoned. He goes,
That's the funniest. I'm sorry, man. I'm just so high.
he goes, Mike, you're not listening to me. If you're high, you can't graduate. So I need you to tell me that you're not high. And
Dude, can we talk about this when I'm not so high?
And I go, I know, man, but I'm pretty fucking high right now. He goes, Mike. And I go, oh, I'm not high. He goes, good.
Yeah.
So then he's got, at least he can sleep that night, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I fucking just.
Until
stony
tomorrow
baloney.
when you're as high.
I'm not.
Yeah,
high.
yeah.
And he goes, all right, so you got a 3-day suspension. Come back for the last 2 days so you can graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Just please stop being an idiot. So I'm like, okay. So my mom comes and picks me up. I'm not allowed to drive my truck away. My dad comes and takes my truck. He's like sober, doesn't do drugs, everything. He's like, I got in your truck and I almost vomited. It smelled like someone run over a dozen skunks.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we hotboxed it, you
Yeah.
fucking loser.
Yeah, don't get in my stuff.
And then my mom picks me up and she's trying to be serious and talk to me about stuff like, why are you sabotaging your life? And I'm just giggling. She's like, are you still stoned? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, let's get you some food and then we'll talk about it. I'm like, you're the fucking best. But the worst part was that was the day I was supposed to take my senior pictures for my graduation announcement. So in all of my senior pictures and graduation announcement, I am ripped,
Roasted.
high as a fucking kite.
yeah.
And in the one they sent out, I'm holding my diploma like a joint and pretending to light it on fire.
I wish I had gotten into drugs younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through a drug phase now. Too late.
How old were you when you did your first any of drugs?
27.
And what did you start with?
Weed.
You started weed, 27. And you're how old now for reference?
30.
30. So 3 years of weed.
No, weed, then acid.
Okay.
Like, I'm an acid expert now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've done it so many times. But,
Okay.
like, weed, acid, mushrooms is all I want to admit to.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
But it's just not, it's a weird thing to go through at 30 years old, you know?
I don't know. I think, like, I'm glad that I did them all young, too. Like, because it was such a, dude, doing ecstasy in high school was a blast.
Right. Yeah. See, it's like, I don't think I'm pull off Molly now. Well, especially just medically. But I have done it. I did it about a year ago. Me and Lucas did it, actually. Me and Lucas did it twice, actually.
It's really fun.
Unbelievable.
It's a great time.
My wife didn't want me to do it with Lucas because she was afraid that we were going to have sex with each other.
And she was right.
And she was right.
Yeah. Pull
To
that
her credit,
blonde hair.
it was a problem.
Weirder part.
I did really. Lucas had one of those things with the, where you put it down on your head.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That thing was a real problem.
Yeah.
On Molly.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I wouldn't have even had to touch myself.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
Yeah.
thing was ridiculous. Anyways, yeah. So I had
Reminiscing about that time you rolled with Lucas.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know. We were alone in his apartment. We weren't gonna fuck each other. It's so crazy we didn't fuck each other. Like we did. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Lucas was trying to fuck me, dude. Unbelievable, that guy. Anyways,
I'm gonna have him on next week.
oh God. I think I'm busy next week, and yeah. So I've done Molly. Yeah, it's just a weird. I guess it's just a weird thing to go through so late. But it also is so tied into what we do. I mean, everyone we're around
on drugs.
on drugs or sober.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah, it's true.
Every single person that we know that does what we do is on a ton of drugs or can't handle drugs anymore.
Yeah. That's a great point. No, there's some people that just drink.
Yeah, but if they drink. Like, who are you talking? Well, don't say anything. Actually, say a name, but we can bleep it out later, right?
Nah,
all right, don't say anything.
I don't want to just sit here and start
because I
names.
disagree with you on that though.
You know, so I'm trying to think of like people that everybody I keep thinking of that drinks a lot, I'm like, nah, I do cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, no, they do cocaine. Yep, they do cocaine. Yeah. I don't know. So that's the other thing too is I was thinking about this the other day. If we treated weed and alcohol the same,
they're not the same.
They're not at all. But if you just like looked at like, if you were walking around with a flask just drinking in Target, or like you would have a drinking problem. But if you just hit your bed at Target, it's like, whatever. Shopping's
it's because weed is not debilitating. It doesn't. Weed is not. It's not.
I'm retarded because of the Delta 8.
Well, no, weed is not. It's not. It doesn't It's not right. It doesn't impair in that way. Like you can't do stuff and be drunk.
Yeah.
Being high is really not.
I guess highness doesn't really affect your motor functions, does it?
Right.
But booze does.
Booze does. You can't do booze.
Yeah.
You can't booze and then go do stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
You can just go through your daily for most people and what they do. Most people could be high every day and function pretty much the same, and even probably be a little happier, truly. And what's weird to me is like I don't want to say. There are people that we know, or I should say, people in my family, where it's like they are super judgmental of like cannabis use, but are on Zoloft every day. And Zoloft is an insane drug to take daily.
Yeah.
SSRIs are to be on long term, and I'm not trying to. If anybody takes them here, I'm not being judgmental in that way. But like, it's just comparative to just the idea to have a judgment over somebody who uses cannabis every day and you are on SSRIs every day is fucking nuts. That's nuts.
Well, you're just fucking with different hormones, right? Serotonin versus dopamine.
It's just such a. I don't know. I think they're very destructive for society, in my opinion. But
Zoloft?
Yeah, most psychiatric drugs, in my opinion, are pretty destructive.
So I've done quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Because so my first grade teacher told my parents, if you don't medicate him, I will. Because she was just like,
dude, doesn't it seem so crazy to put a kid on fucking medication?
Dude, when I think about being
people get up in arms. People get up. Sorry, I don't.
So they're just giving me meth.
You know? Well, people get up in arms about them giving kids hormone blockers and stuff for trans, like, and which is really bad. I think it's not good to do to a child. But
agreed.
But then nobody freaks out that they put kids on hard fucking psychotropic drugs during like their formative years. It's crazy.
Most of high school, I was taking 100 milligrams of Zoloft.
Yeah.
And I would stop taking it because I would forget, or I would just want to be able to come again.
Yeah.
Because I was on so much Zoloft that I could fucking jerk off or fuck for hours and nothing would come out.
Really?
It was just
Could you finish?
No.
Wow.
I would have blisters on my dick from trying to jerk off.
That's gotta be frustrating.
Unbelievably.
Yeah.
How is this an antidepressant?
Right.
I'm so sad I can't
I'm so
come.
depressed.
But I mean, I did
no, because now you're mad.
Zoloft, Strattera, and Concerta.
Those are all SSRIs?
No, so Strattera was like a round-the-clock ADHD medicine. It was a non-stimulant.
Yeah.
And then Concerta was a stimulant. It was a time release. So I was taking like time release speed and then like a round-the-clock fucking speed.
That's crazy, dude.
I was taking an SSRI most of high school while I'm like growing and learning. And also on top of that, I was taking so many supplements for football and working out. I mean, I was taking stuff that got outlawed later because it was essentially steroids.
Yeah.
Like it was great. And it felt like good to be strong and stuff. But I remember being so miserable all the time. And like, I get Facebook like memories of statuses I posted in high school. I was like, dude, that guy was very sad.
Yeah.
And I was on all those pills. Like,
yeah, that's not good.
Man, you should have just done acid. stop taking those pills.
So I think there's something to be said for that. I think part of the reason acid doesn't get pushed is it does. It offers because I don't think they really want people to get better because then they can't continue selling the drugs. It does offer some sort of like, and also not to say I'm not some like huge psychedelics advocate, and think everyone should just do them.
I do. I would like to put LSD in the water.
All right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that being said, maybe the world would be better if everybody did it once at least. You know what I mean? So who knows? I don't know. The thing is that people do go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and there are unstable, fucking mentally ill people that take it and then don't come back. You know what I mean? It's pretty rare, but it does happen. So they're not without serious risk, but like I don't know. It just seems like there is some sort of like. What I found about drugs, and with acid and mushrooms specifically, like you take Molly. Mm-hmm. Molly is a completely masturbatory experience. It's only good. It can't be bad. You know what I mean? Like it's just happy love, whatever. But it's happy love, but it is manufactured and feels manufactured. Whereas when you experience those things on LSD or psilocybin, it feels more potent and more real because it's also contrasted with having to confront things that aren't good. In my experience as well.
So that's one of the reasons I enjoy mixing them.
Well, candy flipping is fun. I mean, you can't get around. I mean, that's just the most fucking.
However, the worst trip I've ever had on psychedelics was from a candy flip.
Really?
Because the thing about Molly, so what you're saying is true, is if you do enough of it, though, the happy juice runs out.
Right.
And that speed of thoughts and manufactured emotions starts to run the gamut. And then it takes on an anxiety. Okay. And so all a bad trip is just having a panic attack while tripping. That's literally all it is. Right. It's just you can't get out of the thought loop and you're unable to distinguish real from panic. So I remember sitting on the beach in San Diego looking at the waves, and I was on like 4 points of Molly and like 300 mics of acid, and watching the waves, and the foam of the waves was doing like TV static colors. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa. And then it clicked like, oh, that's my brain melting. And that started just a cascade of terrible thoughts, and I could not get out of them. And it was just rapid fire. I'm going insane. I'll never be sane again. This is what my brain is like now. I have mental illness, and it's been unleashed by these, knowing all of the things that are dangerous about the drugs. Now I am seeing them all come to fruition, and it was just a nightmare. And then I took half a Xanax and was fine. 15 minutes later.
The first time I took acid, I had to poop really bad, but I didn't want to because I was afraid I would shit my brain out. Then the second time, I actually did shit on my couch after getting out of the shower.
That's pretty good.
I get a new couch. That wasn't one that we could just clean, you know? My wife was like, no, well, we're buying a new couch. Yeah. This is crazy. I can't believe I live with you.
You shit on the couch.
Yeah, you shit on the couch. That's crazy behavior. You're 30 years old.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. This is recent.
Yeah, this was like a year ago. This is like 2.5 years ago.
The first time I did acid, I was 15, and I took this guy named Scarecrow sold it to my friends on sweet tarts, and you could see like the kind of wet part on the sweet tart, so you sit it in your mouth and suck on it. So we all start tripping. Our buddy puts on Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which to this day is still like my favorite movie. But we watch it, and then I grabbed a box of it was the Captain Crunch version of Reese's Puffs. It was peanut butter chocolate.
Okay.
And I was just eating it.
I hate Reese's Puffs.
You're crazy.
Okay.
I was just eating it by the handful.
We'll talk about that.
And I remember watching cartoons and just having a great time. We listened to the MC White song, or Lil White song, I'm on Acid. Like, we had listened to Taylor by Jack Johnson, which still gives me like my hair on my arms from it.
Yeah.
But unbelievable experience. And then I remember like towards the end of the trip, we're all walking around and we kept hearing like I was like, what the fuck is that? And there were so many pieces of cereal on the ground. There's no way any of it made it to my mouth. Like, I was definitely just going.
That's funny.
Because we're all just stepping on cereal all over the house. Yeah. But it was a like transformative experience. And it's so young. It was like, whoa, your brain can do that?
Yeah.
Damn. All this other shit sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering how much I want to say about this, but specifically stuff with my upbringing, like, nah, it doesn't matter. Dan, what drugs do you like? What, just protein powder or what?
Weed.
Just doing lines
Fuck
away, dude.
That much stuff other than marijuana every night.
That's fair. Every night.
Every night?
Yeah,
Indica?
it doesn't matter.
Smoke or eat?
Both
Both? What do you prefer?
edibles.
I prefer
Yeah.
edibles as well. Yeah.
How many
There you go.
milligrams do you take
A night,
if you're trying to have fun? How many would you take?
like 40.
40. Okay.
Yeah.
Darian?
For fun?
Yeah.
Probably 300 plus.
Yeah. It's a crazy answer, right? It's fucking amazing.
No, Giorgio's like that too.
Yeah. There's so many people I meet that their tolerance is unbelievable.
No, my tolerance isn't great.
300, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh no, I can't sleep. It's a full blown panic attack. Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 I've seen you a couple times.
Oh yeah. I've been not okay. Yeah.
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 You recently,
But I'm pretty good at keeping it together though, even though it's all falling apart. Wouldn't you say?
yeah, 100%. You called me the day after recently. You accidentally did.
I had a situation where I couldn't believe I did. I thought I was beyond this type of mistake as a drug user, but I did that classic thing of the guy I get them from had a bunch of the 500 milligram bags that had melted together, so he showed me a bunch of those at a cheaper rate or whatever. So I thought, I got home and I was home for a few hours and just hanging out, and I thought, I'm gonna have a fun night tonight, right? I'm gonna eat this whole 500 milligram nug and just sit here. I don't have anything to do, right?
Yeah.
So I eat the fucking thing and I go sit down on the couch, and within like 3 minutes, I'm like starting to feel really high. And I'm like, I know that was a lot, but I shouldn't be starting to 3 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's when I remembered I had already eaten 300 like an hour before that. So now I'm on 800 milligrams. It's like Tuesday. Like my wife is like at work. You know what I mean? Like I'm just a complete degenerate.
Just on.
And I really freaked. Did I call you?
No, you wanted to.
I had thought about
debated
calling you
it.
because I was like, it was dicey for a second. I really thought things were falling apart.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine. It was fine.
Yeah.
It ended up being fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have called me and I would have been like, nightmare.
I had a really, really bad trip 2 years ago during the pandemic where I took a lot of acid.
All bad trips come from taking too much.
Do you think so?
You never have a bad trip when you just take a little.
Do you agree? I don't think so.
If you just take a gram of mushrooms, it's never gonna
You can
go
also,
bad.
acid's weird like that, where you can take like a shitload and just have fun and then be like, all right, I'm going to take, I'll take a tab and just, that'll be easy. I took 12 last time. One should be fine. And then you can find yourself in a dicey situation just out of nowhere.
For me, like 100 mics of acid,
Yeah.
like just a tab,
Yeah.
isn't
Let's
enough.
see, that's about 2 tabs. Most street tabs are about 60 to 70.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Have you had like a coming to God moment? Like all these people that go to Peru and do ayahuasca?
I had a bunch. I had DMT cartridges for.
Did it really change your life though, or did it only change your life for about 48 hours?
So the lasting effects.
I had one that changed my life. I'll talk about it. Go ahead.
The lasting effects of the DMT trip. So, my friend got cartridges, and each cartridge you had about 200 blast-offs. Like, so there's the levels of DMT. Like, you can kind of take it and feel fuzzy.
Yeah, that's crazy to do
or-
DMT 200 times.
So, I've done it.
Didn't Shane Moss like lose his mind?
Correct. So
Yeah.
that's exactly. So
Right.
I would go and I would blast off while waiting for an open mic to start. Like I would go. I'd go in.
That's so crazy.
I'd go in. I'd sign up, and then I'd go out to my car and just be like, and then just come to 30 minutes later with realizations. But so I haven't done it in like 2 years because the last time that I did it, I went through an entire cartridge in a night, and
That's 200 hits.
it or more. It's the same size as a gram weed cartridge. It's just a gram cartridge of.
Is it like like with LSD tolerance? Once you take it, you can't take more.
What do you mean?
Like, so if you take, let's say you took 3 tabs of acid,
Mhm.
right? within like an hour or two, even if you took another 5 or 6, all those receptors are already flooded. You can't take any more.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I've wasted a lot of acid then, but whatever.
Wow.
Whatever. But with DMT, like when the effects start, because the pen only lasts, I think it's NMT. I can't remember if it's NMT or 5-MeO, but this specific pen is the one that is shorter. It's about 20 minutes. So you come down, and after you like blink it away, everything's normal again. So there was one night where every time I came down, I would just go back up, and I just kept doing that until the pen was empty, and I kept feeling like I was on a spaceship with people, and I was surrounded by them, and I just felt like I was home. And every time that I came back to Earth, I was like, I need to go back home. And then I was like, that's not good to feel. That's schizophrenic as shit to feel that way. And the next time I did it, I opened my eyes too early, and I looked at like the horizon. It was like a week later. I was testing a cartridge for a friend because I wasn't going to do it. I was testing it, and I hit it, and I looked out at the LA skyline, and it was all pixelated. And I just had like the very deep, intrusive thought, like I'll never know what's real again.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck.
Oh, I've had that one.
And it was like, oh shit. And I blinked it, and everything came into clear resolution, and it was like, this is all a simulation. And then what I was talking about earlier with the Hogan, like I sat down and like journaled about all of that, and I figured out what I think happens when you die. So that's the lasting effects of DMT for me.
All the DMT in your brain gets released, and you have one long dream.
Yeah.
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 What?
What happened? You have a long dream. DMT is just dream stuff. So you just
Right.
But
But
yeah.
DMT is more. That's the one I've not done yet. I've never done DMT.
Boy, howdy.
And I don't know that I will.
I think you should once.
You have a thought on this?
A lot of people that I talk to that do the DMT, they also graduate to ayahuasca,
Yeah.
and then they turn into jaguars and
Yeah.
jungles and shit themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that at all.
No,
Yeah.
you don't want to poop yourself or vomit on yourself?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Have you done ayahuasca?
No.
You haven't, and you won't. It's not.
It doesn't really interest me.
Yeah.
I've done all of the tripping that I could. There is no possible way that there is a trip that is more intense than blasting off on a DMT pen.
Right.
I don't need that for a prolonged time, and also out of both ends.
So
Nightmare.
on the one, so I've had one really bad trip. But it's interesting calling it a bad trip because it's the one that I think is most important and has had the most lasting effect. I took, all right, I'm just gonna tell you what I did. I took 12 tabs, and then I ate a 500 milligram bag of edibles, and it didn't go well.
No, you are kidding me.
Yeah, man, I don't know how much I want to talk about this and get in trouble, but
Well, who's gonna see it?
yeah, that's true. So I grew up in right, and LSD is the one thing you cannot do and come back. Right, so I got out
Interesting.
when I was in my early 20s, and really the first time I took LSD was out of rebellion. It was out of it wasn't really an interest in self-exploration at all. And in fact, I had really been done with self-exploration because my whole life leading up to that had been only doing that. That's what is, right? It's all an internal search, right? So I had no interest in going inside, and I wanted to make sure that I never went back. So then I was like, let's do this, right? So that's doing acid the first time. So then when I do the 12 tabs and the fucking 500 milligram edible, that's when I realized, and I thought in my head I was over my entire childhood and upbringing, and that's when everything came back, and I was really shown how deep rooted those beliefs are still, even though I know now are bullshit. It's still probably what I really believe. You know what I mean? And it was weird. It was also it was kind of embarrassing because it happened. Trey was with me and another comedian named Keith Orlowski, who you don't know, but he's a very funny guy. It was with Trey and Keith, and it was kind of an embarrassing thing because all this stuff just sort of started coming out, and I started telling them, and this is all stuff that no one had known about me, or they certainly didn't know.
Yeah.
So all that sort of started coming out, and I don't. There's certain parts of it I don't want to say, but certain parts of it are for me, so that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, it just showed me how much that was still affecting me, and that it was okay to acknowledge that it was affecting me, and that I shouldn't just ignore it, and I shouldn't just try and push it out, and actually should confront it and bring it in as a part of my life. You know what I mean? And then, and that's all stuff on the way up. Eventually we got to a point where I was so high that I don't even think thoughts like that really existed.
Yeah.
It was just everything was just sort of fractal. Everything was fractal. I don't even know how to explain everything was fractal.
No, but I get it.
I might get stuck in the sentence if we start saying it enough. Everything's fractal.
Everything is fractal.
And then everything was just sort of white. And then that's when they put on, and they didn't know. Also, I'm sort of telling this story. It may seem like everything was kind of cool and calm, and I was just on the couch. That was not what was happening. I was flipping out. I was yelling and screaming, and almost trying to fight people who weren't there. You know.
Yeah.
At one point, I was sitting on the couch when everything started to kind of be cool. I was on the way down. This was actually on the way down now that I'm thinking about it. And so eventually went to a super, super high where everything's just sort of white. And they put on, and then I couldn't even talk anymore. And they were so relieved, right? Yeah. They were so relieved that oh my God, he's just on the couch. Yeah. Just leave him there. You know what I mean? They put on fucking Midnight Gospel. Perfect. You know? And there was an episode they started talking about God, and I think that's why I started thinking about God. It was they were being talked about on the TV. I don't think I arrived at that idea on my own. But then I had sort of accepted. I think leading up to that, I had this idea in my head that there's definitely no God, and then that sort of opened me up to the idea of maybe there's some sort of energy or force that a lot of people call that, and you don't have to call it whatever, but just there is something, you know what I mean? And I think that was huge for me. On the way down though, we were sitting on the couch, and I was at this party, and famous comedians kept coming in, like dead comedians kept coming in. And then I would sort of all of a sudden realize somebody was there, and it was like they were playing a joke on me or whatever. Like somebody would show up, and I'm like, fucking, oh shit, you're here. You know what I mean? And then
Robin Williams?
This is hard to explain, but then I started to see my favorite attributes of certain comedians within my friends. So I'd look at Trey and see certain parts of Trey that were very similar to other comedians that I loved.
Ralphie May's body.
Right. Right.
Sorry.
Son of a bitch. Fucking comedians, man. But then I realized I think in my head I thought I think all that energy comes from one thing, and that's why you can see it in multiple people, you know, and it can be brought out by multiple people. It's because all in the end it is one energy or one force or whatever that's driving all of our experiences, you know. But yeah, and then it also just helped me let go of it's okay that you're out. You know what I mean? You're not a piece of shit. You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, they feed you a lot of weird.
Yeah, I've seen some videos on Reddit.
Yeah.
Pretty intense.
Yeah. So it really helped me get through that.
Good.
You know?
Which I think is another reason that people don't want it. Especially
yeah, because it breaks your. It's not. You can't be authoritarian if everybody's on acid. It breaks that. It does. It makes people break out of that type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Have you ever watched the soldiers that they gave it to?
Yeah, exactly. I think about that all the time. They just can't follow orders anymore. Yeah,
they're just having. Yeah. They turn into kids playing soldiers.
Exactly.
And it's yeah, because that's how we should all be.
Anyways,
if we deprogrammed all of the conflict that creates division to distract from the wealth going to a small group, man, it'd be. I don't actually want to put acid in the water, but I think the other way around. I think that everybody should in their lifetime try all of the drugs.
Yeah, this is mine.
Yeah, I think everybody should try all of the drugs. Not heroin.
Yeah.
Or meth. You know.
What do you think the line is? Why is that? I mean, what's the distinction? We put ideas that these are different, but they're just inert compounds.
Well,
why is there a difference?
The inert compounds have different effects.
All right, that is what it is.
I mean, ketamine, you should try, but I don't think you should abuse any of them. But if you're going to abuse something
you like ketamine?
Mushrooms or acid,
you can't. That's what I like about mushrooms and acid too. You can't abuse them. You can't because. Or it's very difficult to, I should say, because they're not addictive in that way that one, they're not all hyper good feelings, right? But also, if you take a bunch of acid and if you try and take acid the next day, it will not work because you don't have those receptors anymore. You have to regrow that specific, what is it, 5-ATP1 or whatever, that specific receptor. You have to wait 2 weeks for it to grow back before you can take the drug again. So it's
Well, I've taken acid in shorter periods of time than that and tripped.
not necessarily. You don't have to wait for full effect. 2 weeks is what they say.
Yeah.
You can go 2 or 3 days and then take acid again and still have a pretty good trip. But it's not like Coke where you can just keep taking Coke and keep being that high.
And heroin.
Yeah, I've never done heroin, so I don't.
I have only had experience with opiates from like medical stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't like them. What are we at on time? Oh shit. Okay. Well, we got high and talked a lot, or we got Delta.
You want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we should wrap it up. Cool. This is gonna come out tomorrow. What can we plug for you? What do you got coming up?
Awesome. I run a. It doesn't matter.
Maybe not tomorrow.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll come out
I
soon.
run a show every week here in Austin called Austin Out Loud at the Green Jay. It's a great show. I run it with Mikey Biggs. He's a comedian that I work with.
Mikey rules.
He's so funny. We run that every week. Come by and see us. It's a great show. And then you can check me out on Instagram at Darian Irwin comedy on Instagram. And then I'll be here with you every week. So it'll be great. All right,
awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by. And as always, get highly social.